I always love filming these videos because I never know what I'm saying when I start filming. It's just it's weird. It's like the camera turns on and everything leaves my head completely. So I'm just gonna kind of relax a little bit. Take some breaths. You know how it goes. But I've been searching for different video topics, things that us, maybe men our age are searching for, things that they want or feel like they need to further progress and grow in society. And so I asked one of my friends. He's a huge fitness guy. He's really built. One of my friends from high school, and I just gave him a text. I said, "What do you feel like people need to hear right now? What do you feel like people want to hear?" And he said, actually, the number one thing that he felt would be important was um, overcoming social expectations, and that second part, the add on to that, is embracing one's, I guess, uniqueness. I guess you could say that individuality. And actually, you see the whole entire title right there, but that's really what that question was. And I think it's very interesting. Okay, I'm gonna refrain from saying, "Oh, that's very interesting," because I say that all the time. I don't know what that means, honestly. But I thought that was really cool because I mean, if you really think about it, in this world today, there are a lot of social expectations that you might feel pressured by, that you feel like I don't know, that maybe just put you in a box in some sense. And really, I'm going to tell you by the end of this video, hopefully you guys have a little bit more confidence to kind of stretch outside of that box and be yourself, embrace who God sent you here to become. And I guess the number one thing is, if you want to really know how you can, I don't know, take this to the next step, you should first, you should first define what your values are. Because I think for all of us, that's one of the hardest things, is really finding out what you believe in. Do you believe in God? Do you believe in science? I don't know. If you're watching this video, likely you believe in God. But so I know that it's the number one value, right? I don't know. Maybe you value money. Maybe that's something that's very, very important to you. Or maybe over money, you value your fitness journey, things like that. I don't know what your values are, right? But every single person has completely different, has a completely different and unique set of values. So I mean, number one, define what your values even are. Nobody does that anymore. Why don't we, right? I think the really, maybe the next biggest thing is define what these social expectations are of you. And really, I mean, do you believe in those social expectations? I mean, think about that. Whether that is something that has been aligned by society itself, or it's just aligned by maybe your family, right? I don't know. Maybe your friends have created these social expectations that really you don't feel like you can leave. I see that kind of in fitness. I have a friend who's really into bodybuilding, and that was kind of what I was trying to get into for a while. But recently I realized, well, for me, something I've always been more interested in is calisthenics, right? So even though we agree with each other on probably most things, we do probably the same things as each other in most things as well. This is one of those things I'm like, well, I don't really have to be a bodybuilder just because my friend's a bodybuilder, right? My friend wants to be a bodybuilder, right? I can get into calisthenics. My focus, what makes me unique, is going to be completely different from him. If I wanted to make myself unique I want to improve, and I guess you could say I want to work out my confidence, right? I want to be a more confident social person. I want to walk into the room and leave an impression on everybody's mind every single time I walk in the room, right? Um, you don't have to be the same as everybody else. First of all, it's really hard to find out really what you do believe in, because the number one thing is, and I feel like my phone's moving around. This is really weird, because the number one thing is, what you believe in is really formed off of the opinions and beliefs of others. So it's like every once in a while, you almost have to keep yourself in check, sit down, and tell yourself, okay, these are not my thoughts. Because ultimately, your thoughts came from somebody else, some other YouTube video. Even me, I'm not afraid to admit that, which is a positive, but in and of itself, it's also kind of a negative, because we don't really get to know ourselves. That's what's boring, is everybody feels like they're the same nowadays. But ultimately, those are the societal expectations that are kind of in place and set for each and every single one of us. Because the problem with people nowadays is that they kind of bend to societal expectations without really forming their own opinion of it. Like for me, for example, I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah. In Salt Lake, everybody is religious. Um, Needless to say, I know for a fact God is real. But growing up, I wasn't, I don't know, because I believed in him, it didn't mean I really had a true testimony of that. And so, I mean, my whole life I was kind of bending to the societal expectations when one day I realized, no, and it was actually on my mission. While I was on my mission, I realized I can't just rely on the testimonies of others for the rest of my life because I'm not going to survive if that's the case. So I took a few steps back, and ultimately I came to know and I formed a pretty powerful testimony for myself just from reading the scriptures, studying them, praying frequently, so many times, and being humble enough to take those answers as well. And I was able to develop my own testimony and understanding of what really God was about. So I think if you really want to break from societal norms, it all comes down to just taking time for yourself, getting to know yourself. Maybe that's something you don't spend enough time doing because you're too busy scrolling on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and Snapchat and whatever, Twitter. I don't know. And I feel like that's helped me a lot too, because ever since I've quit social media and left all that behind, not only do I feel like I know myself better, but I'm not really worried of what other people think about me. Because I'm not comparing my time and my efforts to what everybody else does, because that's what you do with social media. Because of social media, we have these societal norms that everybody feels confined to. So I mean, if you really want to get away from these societal norms, first reflect and then reject all of social media. But embracing or authenticity, as I think the title would be, that takes time. And if you guys are really searching to become more authentic, to be yourself, you have to be patient, because patience is key, as they say, right? But that doesn't mean that it's going to happen overnight. And in fact, if you are worried about overcoming these societal norms, these societal expectations, these social expectations, and finding out who you are as an authentic human individual, right? You should probably spend more time praying. If you guys like this video, please make sure to like the video and please comment, as it really, really does help me to understand if you guys are even enjoying these videos. I can make more based off of simple thoughts and topics like that, but I just need to know if this is something you guys like first. As far as, please subscribe as well, and like anyways, honestly, even if you didn't like this video, please like this video, because I need to get out there. This is a very important message, and if you guys love God, you're going to love these videos. My name's Gabriel Bowman, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Quite literally. I mean, I better. Just subscribe.